Welcome to the Lion's Den, where you'll find just men talking. I'm your host, Renard, and I'll be sitting alone today. I don't have any guests today because I want to recap the episodes that we had. We want to just run through everything that we've been through. There's a lot that happened throughout this journey. I don't believe this is the 7th episode, and we started this with a mission of just talking to men, trying to open lines of communication where men can have a safe space to speak within their own confines, speak with their spouses, speak with their friends, their male counterparts, and just go through life and figure out ways to coexist healthy. I started this journey, as I said, because of my diagnosis of prostate cancer, and I wanted to get the word out, to get brothers out there taking care of themselves, making their doctor's appointments, going and checking in on their mental health, and just to make sure that we live long, healthy, happy lives. So episode 1, I came in and I introduced and tried to give a roadmap of where we're going. And then in the preceding episodes, I talked about my diagnosis. One of them was Diagnosis to Cure. I told you step by step what I went through and hope that helped others. I did get some positive feedback where people were telling me that they were going in and getting their checkups and they were being vigilant about it. I also spoke about my mental health, because in every aspect of our lives as we grow, we need to mentally check in, because we just check out and unknowingly check out, but we need to check in. So one way of doing that is through therapy, and I found that to be very, very rewarding. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot about me. I learned about my stressors, my triggers, things that would take me to a place that I didn't want to go, but I couldn't prevent myself from going there previously. But after going through therapy, I was able to identify those things. And once I identified those triggers, knowing what my triggers were, it was a little easier for me to manage them initially. But then later, it became much easier, as I practiced what the therapist told me to do more. It became easier and almost became, second nature. And that way I was able to sort of identify those triggers before they came. I could see the trigger coming across the room and know that was going to be something that was going to trigger me. And then I started my breathing, which was one thing. And then also in the physical health arena, going to your doctors and taking care of the visits. I know I said that I would have my urologist come in. That's been a challenge. I'm working on it though. He hasn't come in yet, but I am praying and hoping that he will come and sit with me in the den, and we can sort of give you guys some insight into what to look for. As I said, in my situation, there was no symptoms. So if there are no symptoms, then what do you do? By going to your doctor and being checked on once a year, was enough. Because every year on my birthday, as I told you guys, I would go and I would have a physical, and my numbers were elevated, and that's what triggered this. So for the people out here, all the listeners, that's my goal, to get everyone to go and be proactive about their health and well-being. And then a lot of times we become sedentary. We just sit around and we don't move. Moving is a key. You have to move. You keep moving your body, your joints, and everything will be working. Your body is meant to move. So in moving, so you don't physical when people say physical fitness, it doesn't mean that you have to get a gym membership and you have to go to the gym and lift weights. No, just move. You could just start off walking. But then what happens though is when you start walking and you start feeling better and you start looking better, then you want to start doing more things. So then you may end up in the gym, but initially you don't have to start there. You just continue to walk, just move. I mean, go to the mall. You don't have to buy anything, just walk through. And actually, that could also be a form of entertainment because, you people watch. And there's some funny things that go on in the mall. Trust me, it's pretty funny. So also, I talked about dentists and eye doctors. So I'm also trying to get a couple of those doctors in as well. I've spoken with my eye doctor. Again, haven't been able to get them in. And a dentist, I just started working with them, and hopefully I will get them in as well. Now, there is a young lady at my church that actually works in the healthcare arena, and I'm going to try to plug into her, maybe her contacts, and maybe get someone to come in. It may not be my urologist, just maybe a general practitioner, someone to come out and just talk to us about what to expect, give you some insight from more of a doctor's perspective, because I'm giving it from a layman's perspective, giving you from what I went through. So what I really want is some fact or some book or some knowledge or a physician to come in and actually tell you the things, fill in the blanks where I can't fill it in. Like as I said, I didn't have any symptoms, so I know there are symptoms, but what are they and what to look for? And maybe I did have symptoms but didn't know what they were, but because they were subtle, and maybe that's what'll come out of it. But I just need someone to come in and actually speak to everyone and let you know what to actually look for. And then also I talked about physical fitness. There's also, it could be a holistic approach. Everyone, medicine, there are people that shy away from, but there's alternative medicines and other vitamins and things that can be taken, and someone from a holistic approach could come in and speak on that level. And also, usually what I've found in my research is that a lot of the holistic people also have a fitness aspect. So sometimes when you speak to holistic people, you get a 2-for-1. So I'm looking. I don't care if it's 1-for-1, but I am going to find someone to come in and actually speak to us and let us know what to look for and what to expect. Now, also we talked about Delaware having a bill for men's health, prostate cancer screenings and so on. In 2025, that should be alive, and they have tiers and criteria. The bill is Bill 302, and you can actually go out and research and read about the bill. They have tiers, of course. 40 years old if your parent or someone in your direct line had prostate cancer. 50 years old just for the general population, just because you're a black male. So, and that bill will be, in a doctor's office, and you can go in and you can actually see a doctor, and it will be free of cost for, yeah, little activity. So it'll be out there for us to take advantage of. And the thing that I really wish that wouldn't happen is this bill comes into play and no one uses it. We need to take advantage of it. When these things come out, let's take advantage. Let's be proactive, run out there and get screened. Because that, it's sad to have, these things offered to you and you don't take advantage of them. So let's take advantage of it and go out and get screened. And it's free. I don't think it has to be your physician. I think the clinics will have it. So, no matter where you are, you should be able to, walk in and get get screened. And in this journey, I found a lot of things which, right now I laugh because one of the things I said I wanted in the initial podcast, I said, let's have a men's health month, a prostate cancer awareness month. I started talking about those things, saying, yeah, let's have a grassroots movement and get this thing on the road. Well, lo and behold, I found out that June is Men's Health Month and September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. They're here, but they're watered down or overshadowed by other things that happen in those months. And because we're not proactive, again, just think about it, because you could tie this back to the bill. You have Bill 302 out there, where you get free screenings and so on. However, if we don't take advantage, we won't. It'll be just like these months. No one would know about it. It will be exactly like the June being Men's Health Month and September being Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. So, let's not let this be wasted. In June, they have a lot of other things going on that overshadows men's health. In September, men's health is overshadowed. Let's take it back. Let's have events and make these months, make them matter. Again, and in previous podcasts, I talked about women and breast cancer awareness. I mean, in October, I think October is just pink because all you see is pink, So because they're proactive, they've been moving. They spoke loudly about their plight and things that they wanted to happen. They wanted testing, they wanted screening, they wanted financing, they wanted funding, they wanted, mobile access to mammograms. The nine. But they went out and they beat the pavement and got these things done, and we could do it too. And I charge all of the men out there, regardless to your stature, your color, whatever. I charge every man to actually do something to make these months prevalent. That everyone knows that June is Men's Health Month, that September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Let's make that promise to ourselves that this is what we're going to do. And we could have the mobile screenings, whatever it takes, but we together can grow and make these things happen. And I talked about my mental health. I just briefly touched on it, where I went to my therapist, and my therapist gave me, it's a quick little tool, and I mentioned this prior as well. It's called the 3 C's. Catch, check, and change. And these are thoughts. Like I talked about the triggers. When your trigger, when you're being attacked, so to speak, and your thoughts are just running rampant in your mind, take a breath. Check the thought. Catch the thought, I'm sorry. Then check the thought. Why did this happen? And then make a change. Change your thought. Move on. Think of happy thoughts. Think of places you'd like to be, places that you've been that made you happy. Football game. Eagles beating the Giants. That made me ecstatic. I could replay Barkley running for 176 yards a million times, and you can't change my mood. I digress. But anyway, so yeah, and then I had a couple podcasts where we had cuts and chats, where I had some guests come in. We had frats. We had the frats in. We had some young gentlemen in, and then we had the last series, series 6, episode 6. I'm sorry, was Love After Loss, because that's where the progression took us. So in Cuts and Chat, I had Chad Henson. He came in, and we talked about things. We got deep into different things that were, bothering us. And Chad talked about mental health. He talked about his physical health. We had Mike White there. Mike talked about his physical health, his mental health. Talked about family history, how important that is for us to know our family history so that we know what we're dealing with. And Mike also made a point that many of us don't know our family histories. Yeah, and that's a challenge, but wherever you can start. And maybe it starts with you, and then all of the history that you have, you could then trickle that down to your children, those that are coming after you. But start somewhere. Your family health is very important to know about your family's health history, because that helps you to progress and get the proper medical assistance. And then with the frats, we talked. We talked again. We got into a lot of the conversations. One of the frat members, Keith, he talked about when he went to his eye doctor, and his eye doctor told him that he was diabetic, or he had high blood pressure. No, diabetic. He saw that from his eyes. Also, Weston, he also talked about a rare form of blood disease or cancer that he had. But these people are pouring themselves and being open so that the audience out there can hear these things, and maybe something will resonate with you that you're going through, and soften the blow maybe, and, let you know that there's someone else out there that's going through the same thing that you're going through, and dealing with it. And you see these guys are healthy and moving through life, and but they're moving. And so remember, movement is also important. Then we had some young guys in, Chaz and Keenan. It was a welcoming conversation. Keenan, he had a health regimen, or where he goes to his doctor and so on often. But Chaz didn't. But it opened his eyes, and he was thinking differently about going to the doctor and checking and making sure that everything, was working well. And so we also segued into dating, which was another topic. And if you remember, I talked about going to a restaurant, meeting a friend at a restaurant, and I'd already got the table, and she came later. And she sent me a text, WYA. And I had no idea what she was talking about. So I went to my son and asked him what she meant. And that was where you at. And so, that was kind of, eye-opening in this new world of dating. But, these young cats just opened up, and they talked about it. They talked about social media, because, and an interesting point that came out of it, and Chaz made that point, that his generation was aging out, but they were like at the beginning of it. So they actually they had both worlds, where they went outside and played, and also came along when social media became a big deal. In where my generation, social media wasn't happening. We did not have any social media. We were social, but we didn't have media. So it was good though. I don't know. And for me, life is a combination of the two, social media and social interacting. I think you get more out of social interacting, but that's just my point. I like to hear voice inflections, see expressions, and that helps me gauge where I'm going. You send me a text message, I don't really know what to make of it. I read the words, but I don't know where it's coming from. But that's just me. I'm not gonna dive down that hole. And then in the last podcast, Mike had a reappearance, and then we had Edward. He's the actual mayor of Upper Darby, and those were interesting conversations as well. And that was entitled, because of the dating, the ending of the Where You At podcast. We talked about dating, so we we used that as a platform to come up with a different idea, and that one was called Love After Loss. And because in the episode, you if you'll remember that Edward, he lost his wife, sadly, and Mike, he was divorced and remarried, and then I was I was divorced like 2 years ago. So what that did, that brought three different aspects together to deliver the message, and I think the message came out loud and clear, and the summation is there is love after loss, which is reassuring, but there is, and then Edward talked about the things that they do in Upper Darby. He has on these Saturdays he goes out and shoot hoops with the mayor, play tennis with the mayor. So he's active in his community and he's bringing people together. And when I told him about the Delaware Bill 302, he said he was going to take that back to his representatives and speak to them about possibly having a bill that's similar to the Delaware bill. Now, just imagine if that's national. So nationally now we'll have a platform where men can be screened. That would be great. That would be great. And I'm going to give Delaware a plug. This little old Delaware is, pushing. Well, we were the first state, so we may as well just go ahead and push the rest of the country into screening men for prostate cancer. Yep. And those are some of the things. There were many things that come out of it, and those of you that this may be your first view, go back and view the others. And those of you that have viewed them before, revisit them, because there may be something in there that you'll find, that you missed the first time, because there are gems in there. There are gems all through it, and that's going to take us into, the new year. The next few podcasts will be changed, and there'll be some things pulled from the earlier podcast that would then become a podcast on its own. And when you revisit those podcasts, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Where we're going? Well, we're going to take this journey to another platform where I talked about earlier, June being Men's Health Month and September being Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. My vision is to have a platform where those months become an event. I've spoken to a frat brother that I mentioned earlier, Wes, and when we spoke about the grassroots movement to create Men's Health Month and a Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, they told me that they were on board and they would, take a petition to the Divine Nine to make sure that this happens. So that petition will be a little different. Instead of it being a grassroots movement to get the Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, now it's going to be a movement to actually put programs on so that we could make this month an event. October, it seems to be a pink month. Now, pink don't have to be our color, but we would actually, just make those months known, because right now no one really knows about it. So from this point on, that will be one of my goals, is to, in June, have a platform where men are coming together and having conversations, and hopefully there will be a panel that could discuss the different aspects of it. In September, one of the panelists that I'm working diligently to find is someone from the state that can talk to the Bill 302. That's one of the main functions. Now, and again, I'm going to have the urologists and some people from the medical fields, also the dentists and eye doctors, and some holistic people and physical fitness So we're gonna take it on, we're going to take the same place, but from where we are now, we're going to take a trajectory, and we want to take off. We want this to be a movement where men are just healthy and happy and moving through life, and women, now when the men are happy, they're going to, you'll benefit. So, we're not leaving you out, but it starts with him, the man. And it's not this hierarchy thing, but he has to be good with himself, both physically and mentally, to be a better person for you. So you won't be left out. Trust me. Of course, everything here is led by God. So, hopefully it'll change in that aspect for him as well. If he's not there already. So we're looking to go places together. I think there's strength in numbers. We've been in a silo too long. We don't want to talk about things like prostate cancer. We don't want to talk about colonoscopies. We don't want to talk about our mental health because it became taboo. Well, let's pull the curtain back because we're all there. So there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Okay, your back may hurt. My leg hurts. So something hurts, so let's talk about it. Let's work together. So with your back hurting, I'll hold you up. With my leg hurting, you hold me up. Let's hold each other up and walk through it, and become stronger, better men. We could be better men for those in our lives, regardless of who it is. Spouses, children, parents, grandparents, sisters, brothers, uncles, aunts, the gamut. Strangers, everyone. We could all be on this journey together. So there's going to be more to come on the panels for the June event and the September event. Keep an eye out. There'll be some shorts on YouTube that will be popping up. We'll be putting out, they give you some ideas of the events and what's up, what's coming up, the next podcast and so on. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And those that have subscribed, you'll be getting some pop-ups that'll let you know what's going on with us. And again, when you go out there, remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I am going to end with a couple quotes. Nobody can go back and start a new beginning, but anyone can start today and make a new ending. If you give up today, you will never know what it feels like to win tomorrow. Don't give up on yourself. You're your own superhero. Champion for your health, both physically and mentally. Let's come together and ensure that we have a brighter tomorrow. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm Bernard. Thank you for sitting with me today in the Lion's Den. Peace.